Mike Brandy.
Hi, how you doing?
If you want to get used to following chords, how would you go about it? Where would you start? And where would you want to aim to get?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So, you know, a lot of people like that, I call it solo guitar, but the R&B Hendrix thing, you know what I mean? No, the Hendrix thing I think really came from Steve Cropper, because, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, I think that it kind of, no, but you put a Univibe on and you got Hendrix, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, there, you know, I see my chord.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're practicing your scales, try and always end on a chord, and visualize your chords around your scale. You know, even, you know, good old there. You know, I've got my oh, there's a net pickup. I've got my net pickup. I've got my A minor pentatonic around that chord there.
I'll put like translation in description.
So, you know, if you can get used to, for example, playing an A minor in, you know, your cage system, if you want, you know, so there's your A shape playing an A minor. Now the G shape for A minor you don't really want to use, but you got that one there. I don't know what camera's best to get here for my fingers. That one, yeah. And then your E shape. Then you got your D shape. Then you got your C shape. Then you got your A shape. So, for example, there, the infamous C shape for the minor.
It's my favourite shred pattern.
Yeah, well, yeah, so if you're doing that...
You can't do the shizzle.
When people pay me the right amount of money, I'll do anything.
It's an expensive arpeggio, that one.
But, you know, if you can see... If you can see your in this case, pentatonic, rib that chord, so then if you've got a little kind of thing going... And you got your root notes there.
That box, isn't it?
Yeah, so then you got your, you know, an arpeggio is a broken chord, but when you play it like that, you know, it sounds a bit more kind of arpeggio, but it's more musical. But if you break it down, it's you kind of like a bit of harmonic minor script in there. But then I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like Steve Lukather might do something like that, or you know what I mean, those kind of melodic guys. So then I went down my minor chord there, but because I'm not kind of making it sound like an exercise, it makes it, no, you're putting rhythm to it, which
that's
we're talking
key,
before.
not making it sound like an exercise.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing, because when you're practicing, you kind of up, but I suppose you've got to break out of that. But like, I think you said it in the other video, it's backing tracks to play along to, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, whenever you learn any scale, so there I kind of touched upon the harmonic minor scale, so apologies if that's advanced for people, but it's just basically a minor scale with the seventh note not flat, basically, you know, so A minor is usually A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we got that G sharp in there. So as soon as you learn a scale, start doing something musical with it straight away. And then we were saying about nursery rhymes or something, even if it's, you know, you're being musical with it. Don't just always, you know, because then you get really good at saying the alphabet really quick.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been practicing for years. I've been kind of going like, oh, if I just keep going, I'll get better.
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah.
you just play that.
Yeah, you get absolutely. You get your technique, but then it's like, okay, well, here's a chord. Play something over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me,
and
I'd
the
like.
cool thing is, because you got sus2 chord there.
Yeah.
That's when you could do minor or major.
Yeah.
And this is another subject I want to talk about. Little flow.
Do it, man.
In terms of, I find it very interesting that some players think it's not important to learn music theory. I think it, for me, holds you back by not knowing theory. And I think that a lot of people think it's harder than it is.
Yeah.
In terms of, there's only a certain amount of notes, and to make it major, you make a minor third, to make it major, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny how, but I suppose we're talking from a point of view of understanding it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange, but I hate the fact that people say that. You don't need to. I think if you want to expand your vocabulary on guitar, of course it's going to help you. And anyone who's a big player says they don't. I don't believe. They don't know the theory.
Hendrix knew his theory.
Did he?
And I refuse to believe that he didn't. Because if you watch one of my favourite footage of Jimi Hendrix is that Woodstock Improvisation, when he goes off and he's kind of, I don't know it verbatim, but... and he's like, you know... and it's so... And he knew... he's doing that, which is your fifths, you know, cycle of fifths kind of stuff. I refuse to believe he didn't know his theory, because that Villanova Junction, I think it's called. Bung, 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 dun, dun. Oh yeah, check it out. But like, he's playing over the changes. So he knows, he certainly knows a basic form at least, you know, and then obviously, you know, he's a very owl player, you know, he's hearing that.
Unless it is, like we were saying earlier, I suppose, if you get good enough to know your intervals, you almost don't need to know the theory, I suppose, because you're just following your ear.
Yeah, but when people say about, if you learn your theory, you know, you've got no soul. I mean, Steve Lukather knows his theory. Yeah, Mike Landau knows his theory. You know, Eric Johnson, Josh Smith, you know, all these guys, they've all studied it, you know. And unfortunately now, when I say we, including myself, we're all lazy. And I just want to know how to do that. And through teaching people, like, I remember one guy, bless him, he came to me, he's like, I want to learn for the love of God, but like playing a C chord of a stretch. I was like, yeah, but mate, you maybe get the basics to get like Steve Vai stuff down, you know.
Even Steve Vai, you can't.
Exactly. Well, he went to Joe Satriani with a packet of strings and a guitar and said,
I respect that.
Yeah,
At least he's aiming high.
Yeah.
You've got to be realistic. Yeah.
Absolutely, you know. But it is, you know, back when you were saying about the practicing, it is getting those foundations down, you know. Yeah. But it's like I say, putting some kind of groove or something when you're playing. You know, so there I'm finishing, putting it on my root note. Even now, I just realised I did a bit of that.
You did a mini sweep.
For a bit of panazz, you know, to it. But you know, even if, and also as well, back to pentatonic, just because you've got all these 5 shapes, you don't have to use all 5 shapes all the time, do you? You know, I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan on Riviera Paradise at the Austin City Limits is pretty much E minor shape 1, you know. Right. So it's just... You know, so then I'm just doing 3 notes, you know, but it's how you're playing those 3 notes. That's the way I look at it. And then... when you put in a pick thing, or just got it in there, when you do that, you know, then it kind of a bit more of a whoa, you know, something that if you're always doing that all the time.
That was our conversation the other day. It's like, it's good to have it. You don't have to do it all the time.
Don't have to do it all the time.
If you don't have it, you can't do it.
Yeah. I look at it always like a Swiss Army knife. It's there when you need it. It's like your tool belt, isn't it?
Obviously, it's the players that go over the top with it that are literally, 16, 30-second notes, just the whole song. That's cool. Yeah. But everyone's going to be amazed by that for like 15 seconds. Yeah. Then you're like, okay, I want to hear some melody, please.
I was having a chat with my lady the other day, and she was... kind of watching a band, I think I was showing a band I know, and she's like, I hate all those solos. I was like, oh really? She went, yeah, you musicians, you like the solo, but me, I want the song. Yeah. And she loves John Mayer. I said, so what about when John Mayer goes, no, just play the song. She's like, just play the song. I want to know the song, I want to hear the song, I want to dance, and I want him to play the next song. When people start soloing, don't want to know it. And it's interesting, she's not a musician whatsoever, so it's interesting hearing a non-musician what they could, us guitar players or drummers, we're like, oh no, we want to see that, you know, unless it's a drum solo, no one wants that. But, no one wants to see that. I remember getting the Steve Vai live at Astoria, and his drummer was great, but every time I get to the drum solo, fast forward, don't want to know.
That's it, yeah.
Apart from John Bonham, I watch that, you know. But it was just interesting with that, but, you know, sorry, we're going off topic here.
No, that's good.
But it was just hearing from the mind of someone who's not a musician, they just like a song. And of course, when you're saying about dance, it's all about rhythm, it's all about the groove, you know what I mean? So, you know, so with the B.B. King thing, which always pops up, the reason he's so revered...
Minor third and root, isn't it?
Well, it's that, but also you can sing it. You know, it's musical. He's singing while he's playing, you know. No, was it... You know, like, oh, you know what I mean? If you got all that all the time, you know, you're not going to get the girls grooving. And that's what we do it for.
It's the funny thing, isn't it? Because we think it's getting the women, but
it's not. They, you know, if you just sit there.
A bit of a revelation the other day. My wife said I hate funk. I was like, you what?
Oh!
Yeah, exactly my reaction. So she's gone.
Yeah, just sit there. Or stuff like that, you know. But yeah, like I say, for me, like I say, rhythm is just so important. But as soon as you learn a scale, just start making some musical thing with it. You know, again, even if it's
applying it to the real world. And stuff like that. The metronome is good, obviously the metronome's your friend. Mm-hmm. If you don't know anything where it relates to, you could play like this perfect scale, but it's like, but when you, same with me though, when I'm playing with you, I think my own chord progression I showed you through me, because I just like, I've not practiced enough going between certain notes, it's just practice.
Hit an E string. See what happens. See what happens, you know. But yeah, again, you know, getting used to always tapping your foot when you're playing.
I'm so bad for that.
I think it's
I know you should do it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think either tapping your foot, nodding your head, moving some form of body, so then you got that inbuilt metronome is always going, you know.
Do you know, I stopped doing it because my drummer used to always tell me, it's like your mother telling you something. I just didn't like doing anything.
Well, I live in a masonette, and so like Laura, my girlfriend, she's always like, you've got to stop banging, you know, downstairs. They can hear that all the time, you know. So when with the pandemic hit and I was doing like the live streams on Saturday nights, I started doing just little gigs in my living room. And so she would make sure I had a pillow on my feet, so then I wasn't constantly doing that. You know, just banging on the neighbours, bless them. But it is really important. Tommy Emmanuel, Paul Gilbert, all those guys, they're all moving when they're playing.
Building your inner clock, isn't it, I suppose? It's kind of that thing, I think we had a jam yesterday, and it's a very slow thing, and it's so hard to keep time. In terms, obviously, you're not if you're playing every other beat, but you still should practice enough that you can like be patient enough to keep the... Yeah.
It's like if you're learning a song, you know, can you play it at a super slow tempo, but still feel it? You know, even if it's something technical like, I don't know why this is coming in my head, and then and get it kind of there, you know. So, or if it's a chord progression, you know, anything, you know. But you see what I mean, yeah? It's like all that kind of stuff is, I think all builds up. People think rhythm playing, think just chords, but rhythm playing helps your lead playing as well, you know? So it's all, it's the foundation. Isn't it? Yeah, it's all connected, you know?
I think that 99% of your playing is rhythm, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Unless you're in like a dream theatre.
Yeah, absolutely, you know? But then when it comes to the lead... You know what I mean? And you got that kind of, there's still a rhythm there.
I love the falling down the stairs. The triplet kind of thing. Someone was challenging my uncle, was like, is it Ryan Hart?
Oh wow.
He does that.
So your picking hand's really good.
My right hand's good.
Yeah.
But in terms of he does it, who's not Ryan Hart? Is it? He uses two fingers because he lost his other fingers.
Django Reinhardt.
That's it.
Yeah. That's his left hand, man. Yeah.
So all he's doing is going out. He does all this like. I don't know how he gets that. But it's the best lick. You play any key. He's going.
Picking hand's really good.
But I've been working on that phrase. But it's pointless in terms of I haven't been practicing that kind of thing, which I need to incorporate.
Sure,
which is nice to chat, because I've been working hard on technical things, which are all well and good, but it's now the melody and
getting the
chords and
musicality to it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think guitar, you can see it in so many different ways. You get the technical route, but that's good as well, but still keep the musicality.
Absolutely.
Like, I've kind of lost a bit of that, but that's fine, because I don't see the goal as being, I've got to be this good by next month. I know it's going to be years before I'm probably at where I am, but I think with technique, there's a certain amount you can get to before it's enough. Then you can't. But that's going to take years. Like the musicality doesn't just come overnight.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Because I'm not trying to. That's not musical in terms of it's just a technique. If you nail that for me, you get all this inside outside picking, whatever it is.
Well, you could look at that with like the Eddie Van Halen thing, and people, and I mean, I was never. When I say I wasn't a fan, I just never really listened to Van Halen properly until he passed away, unfortunately. And then I died in, I was like, oh God, he like the musicality of him, and he was so funky, and like Eruption, for example, is full of great blues licks, but because it's so sped up.
James Humphreys, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think we had this conversation.
We did. Yeah. So I didn't know much. It didn't talk much when I was at 18 about Eddie, but I see it. No, I see it all the time on his Facebook. Yeah, but there's oh God, I can't remember now. He does.
Jesus, yeah.
He's got those little kind of cool bluesy sounds in there. Yeah. It's just, but people see Eddie Van Halen and they just saw the tapping, and like they just went straight to that. And you could take any guy, Steve Vai, they just focus on one particular thing and that's it, and then they're missing, he's got a really good funky wrist,
yes, he does,
and his rhythm playing and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately, you get kind of caught up on the I suppose, look, mum, I can do this flashy bit of any great player, Eddie, for example, but then miss the bits in between it when you dive into it. How he got to that was getting the groove that, it was, I don't want to do too much of it. All that kind of stuff, it's super funky. So, yes.
That's Doctor one, isn't it?
Somebody give me a doctor.
Is this the cover you did?
I did it recently.
I'll put a link to this. We have to wrap this up, guys, because we've been in here quite long.
Hopefully that helped. Hopefully it's given you some...
Yeah, that's great, and hopefully help you guys as well.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, go check Mike's channel out. We did another video. I'll put a link to that as well.
Yes.
And there'll be some playlist links and things to the festival we're at today. Big thanks to Mike, who's behind the camera, and to our sponsors, which you will see now. But thanks again, dude.
Thanks, man. It's about time you had a flipping video together.
Like me and Mike have been chatting about it for ages. But anyway, guys, I'll see you again soon. Take care, man.
Bye.